startled by the presence of my grandson. That I didn't expect. About as great a blessing as a person can get. Seriously. But it's pretty unsettling. When you're standing in line with the choir waiting to come in and the bathroom door opens.
I thought we were sitting right over there.
There he is. Yeah, for heaven's sake. So we'll try to say something. Okay. We have for some weeks now been in the shadow of a reading about 4 weeks ago, in which Jesus was asked when the kingdom of God was going to come, and rather than giving a date, says the kingdom of God is within you, or the kingdom of God is among you. And we have been in the aftermath of that one saying now for about 4 weeks. And each week as we've listened to these parables, we've encountered examples of how people have figured out how to run into this kingdom. If this kingdom of God is interwoven with the kingdom of the world, with all the nuts and bolts of our daily lives, then how is it that we can stumble into it from time to time? Or, better than that, maybe live into it for a bit. Or maybe live into it for eternity. So we saw the leper who turned around to give thanks. And he discovered that in living a life of gratitude and thanksgiving, there was a doorway into a new kind of life, which is the life of the kingdom. And then we discovered that there was a widow who was arguing for justice relentlessly, and she achieved justice. And she, in her life, discovered that in the relentless pursuit of justice, there is an opening into a way of life, which is the kingdom of God. And then last week, of course, we heard about the tax collector who went to the temple. And he stood at a distance away off and said, I am not worthy to even raise my eyes to you, Lord. And he goes away knowing that he has been blessed, has been held by this God. And he has discovered that in humility and in honest self-examination, there is a doorway to this same kingdom that is part of our world. So today we have 2 more clues for us about how we might live in this kingdom. And one, of course, comes from this great, rich gospel reading. The one which is the Sermon on the Plain, Luke's version of Matthew's Sermon on the Mount. And it's different from that sermon. It's much shorter and it's right to the point. And it's divided into blessings and woes. And as we listen to it, we understand that what he is saying is that there is something about being broken, about grieving, about mourning. There's something about being poor, which makes the kingdom more accessible. There's something about our imperfectness which casts us onto God in a new way and enables us to see what's really essential about life and what's essential about the kingdom. And in the way he phrases it in this reading, woe to those who are self-confident, overachieving. Woe to those who are rich now. because they don't have that same opportunity to be exposed to the raw edge of the kingdom. There is something about brokenness for Jesus. It says, in the brokenness of your lives, you are able to see more clearly God's goodness and the life that God gives to all people. And when we are too successful, when we are too entitled, too privileged, too rich, then we tend to think that life is about us and not about God. And it's in the brokenness of our lives that we will discover the living God. That is another clue to us about how we might enter into this kingdom of God that is right next to us. The other clue that we get out of today's service, of course, is that we are celebrating All Saints' Day, or All Saints' Sunday. And saints are those people, of course, through whom we see God coming into the world. Saints are people who have, through whom God has acted, either in the life of the world or in our very own lives, into the intimate parts of our daily lives. And in the Orthodox understanding, of course, all these saints are put on icons. And icons, if you go into an Orthodox church and you're surrounded by icons are windows into heaven. And that's really an image for us to grab a hold of when we think of our own saints that we honor. That these saints are windows into heaven, and therefore doors into that kingdom that we've been seeking over these weeks in this place. You and I are called not just to honor those saints, not just to see them and appreciate them and worship them. We are called to be them. In the icons of our faith, we can see the face of God, which means that if we're looking for the face of God, we need only to look at one another. We are the icons of God. We are the ones who provide the gateway to this kingdom of God to one another. And that is the joy of this All Saints' Day celebration. That together we can see the face of God in one another, and we can come more and more to be a place where the kingdom of God reigns. Amen.